Hello everyone, it's Greg from Edinburgh Renaissance Fencing Academy here. In today's video I'm going to talk once again about pictures and diagrams from historical fencing treatises. So let's start with a quick question for you, the viewer. How often have you looked at pictures from whatever treatise for whatever system you're studying? And if you have looked at the artwork, how seriously have you studied it? So the reason I'm asking this question is because in my experience, a lot of people don't pay enough attention to the artwork, or they jump to very quick conclusions about what is actually contained in the pictures and then move on from it quite quickly. So I think this is a little bit of a mistake. Not every fencing treatise has diagrams, of course, so if you're lucky enough to be studying a book which does contain pictures, you should take the time to look at them properly. They are something significant. The author has decided to put them in for a reason. Now, what I am not saying is that you should start with the pictures. The text is always the most important thing in a fencing treatise. So the role of the pictures is really to support and clarify what is described in the text. The fact is that some things are just easier to show than to describe with words, and this is really where the pictures come into their own. So what I want to do in today's video is go through a little training exercise with you, whereby we look at diagrams from 3 different fencing treatises, and I get you to practice interpreting them. So I shall explain some more shortly, but let's change the camera. I'll get a couple of swords and then we can get into it. Let's go. Okay, so in this part of the video, I am going to adopt a guard posture from 3 different treatises. And I'm going to show you a diagram of the same guard posture as illustrated in the original book. And I want you to take a few moments to compare my posture with what you can see in the diagram, and then try to spot the differences. In other words, try to identify where I have gone wrong. And then I'm going to correct my own posture so that it looks more like the diagram. So we're going to look at something from Filippo Vadi's late medieval book with the 2-handed sword. We'll take a look at something from Di Grassi's late Renaissance book with the single rapier, and then we'll take we'll take a look at Capoferro's 17th century work with rapier and dagger. So let's get started. Okay, so the first one is a type of low guard from Filippo Vadi's late 1400s book with the 2-handed sword. Okay, next we have a single rapier from Giacomo Di Grassi's late 16th century book. So again, we're going to look at a kind of low guard position. Finally, we're going to look at Rapier and Dagger from Ridolfo Capoferro's 1610 book. Again, we're going to look at a kind of low central guard, terza guardia. Okay, how well did you do? Did you identify the differences between my posture, my first posture, and the treatise diagram? Did you see how I corrected my stance in each case so it looked more like the picture? Hopefully the answer is yes. So to conclude this video, interpreting diagrams is more complex than you might think. We've only looked at some static guard posture positions, which is really the simplest thing to interpret, but there are still many complications there. So one training tool that I strongly recommend to all practitioners is when you are fencing, try and arrange for a friend or a colleague to take some photos, or even better, some video footage of you fencing. And then after the training session, go and watch the video and have the diagrams from whatever system you're studying in front of you, and compare how you are standing, moving, and holding your sword with what you see in the diagrams. And use the same analytical methodology that I've described today. So check your posture, check the angulation of your feet, check where your weight is, forwards, backwards, etc. Does it match what you really see in the book? Because if you fence in a way which looks like what you see in the treatise, you're doing a good job. What you're doing is authentic historical fencing. If the way you're standing and moving does not look like what's in the diagrams, you're not fencing that system. You might be fencing well from a certain point of view, like you might be beating your opponent, you might be scoring more points, but you're not doing the system which you're supposed to be training. So, in summary, don't ignore the diagrams when they are included in the treatise. Study them properly and really scrutinize your own posture and the angulation of all the weapons and footwork and so on, and use it as a tool to correct yourself, to make yourself a better fencer, and to make yourself a more authentic historical fencer. Okay, that's all for today. I hope that is useful for you in your own practice. Take care, everyone. I'll see you again soon. Bye.